Hello, friends. I hope your day is going freaking fantastic. Today, we're talking about why you keep breaking promises to yourself. If you're watching this live or listening to it on the podcast, I'm so stoked you're here. And over the past year, as I've been supporting clients, I started from a very fitness, nutrition perspective, then saw the impact of mindset, then saw the impact of habits and the relation to yourself. And I've been in this process really channeling what I can do that makes a true impact. And I've been reflecting on the biggest transformations I've helped my clients into. The most impactful ones are where not only is the client willing to do it with me, but we get to the root. And the root of everything is the stored traumas and beliefs we have about ourselves that continue to manifest. So, why you keep breaking promises to yourself and how to stop is what we're diving to in this episode. You may not recognize it, it may be an unconscious belief. And if you're not familiar with the conscious and the unconscious or subconscious mind, go back and listen to my 3-part series about mindset because this is what I see in almost everyone. Your nervous system and your belief system are wired to put others before you. And I don't always mean in acts, in service, in doing, but in perceptions and beliefs. Your traumas from a little kid, big T traumas, little T traumas, taught you that there was something wrong with you. And caretaking, becoming small, or making your feelings smaller, or even changing your feelings, internally gaslighting yourself, was what soothed the outside world, what kept everything calm. And it all comes from this trauma. Trauma is anything that led your body to feel unsafe. We talk about big T and little t traumas. Big T traumas are accidents, injuries, like traumas. You're in the ICU, your house burns down, your dad was alcoholic and beat you every single night, you got abandoned as a kid, and your parents left you with some stranger. Like these big, you look at it from the outside and you're like, wow, that was a disruptive event. And then we have little T traumas. You wanted attention from your mom and she was working all the time. You wanted to play with friends on the playground, but they made fun of you and laughed. You wanted to wear this cute new outfit to school, and your dad said it looked bad. You only got attention when you acted out because you had 7 siblings and your mom was stretched thin. So many things could lead to your body feeling unsafe. Even if you're at the grocery store and you want a lollipop and your mom says no, but all day you were looking forward to that lollipop. Everyone's lives look so different. So let's just clear the air here. Whatever your childhood looked like, even if it was quote unquote perfect, everything was attended to, you had traumatic events in your life. And if you want to use other words for it, great. That's just one that is most common in today's language. An event that led your body to feel unsafe is a trauma. And you deserve to heal those things to be the person that you truly want to be. So, clearing the air, no matter what your childhood looked like, there were events that led you to feel unsafe that you then internalize, which is now creating your life, which is what we're diving into in this episode. So, when we were little, something happened to us that made our bodies feel unsafe. Without external support to validate those feelings, give you a safe space to express them, move that energy out of our body, and regulate in safety, and then move on, which a lot of us did not have every single situation. And that's part of the human experience. So we're going to say nobody had that situation. So that safe place to express, validate, expel, process, and move on, you were then put into a place of being dismissed. And our body then holds on to all those fear and unsafe feelings, leaving our brain to conceptualize what happened. And as a kid, when your brain is conceptualizing what happened, you're trying to figure out life, you have two options. Option number one is that other person is dysregulated. Dad is drinking alcohol and it's his fault that he is beating me up every night. My mom is working to try to provide for the family, and her investment in the work is the reason that she's not paying attention to me right now. That situation was really crummy and has nothing to do with me. That's option number one. As a kid, to see the other person dysregulated or dysfunctional, and that it has nothing to do with you. Option number two is that I'm bad and I did something wrong and I need to change in order to keep the peace because that person is actually doing just fine and I'm the problem. As a child, you will 99.9% of the time lean towards number two. As children, as humans, we need caregivers, we need an environment, we need to be provided for in order to survive. So it is in your survival's best interest to continue to see the world as all good and internalize that feeling of unsafety. So we're not seeing them as dysregulated, we're now seeing us as dysregulated to no further harm be done. So we don't put ourselves in an even deeper feeling of unsafety. So fast forward, you're a grown adult. Things are not going well in your environment. Maybe your car breaks down, you lose a job, your boyfriend breaks up with you. Instead of being aware of possible dysfunction outside of you, the car was old, you forgot to change the oil, the job wasn't meant for you, and your boss has a different vision in mind than what you offer genuinely. Your boyfriend and you are no longer in a collaborative space, it's outgrown. You have spent your entire life internalizing these unsafe feelings. So now, instead of seeing those things as dysfunctional, you've continued to see you as the problem. You've hardwired yourself and trained yourself to see the fault lying internally. So all the fear, the doubt, the scarcity, the unworthiness, whatever it was, you now internalize, and it's because of you. I'm gonna do a quick aside into mindset. If you want more, I have a 3 series a few weeks ago on mindset. So don't want to go down a rabbit hole because I could be here all day about this. Your beliefs set up how your brain filters information. So as a child, you experienced that traumatic event. You then had a belief that I do not deserve to be seen, that I'm not good enough, that I only get attention when I act out, that my needs don't deserve to be met. So now you're continuing to filter information through that lens, completely unconsciously because it's what you've been known. Your brain has the conscious and the unconscious mind. All those deep beliefs live in the unconscious mind because it's how you've set yourself up, how you've wired your body to run. We don't have enough energy and capacity to consciously be thinking about our heart beating, our lungs, our beliefs. So we put a lot of it into our unconscious. So now you have this belief system because of those traumas you experienced that I'm not good enough, my feelings are too big, I need to do more to be worthy. That's your baseline, even if it's not working for you, which it clearly isn't, right? We all have things that aren't working for us. Even when it's not healthy or productive, it's just what you've been known. So, how the heck is all of this linked to breaking promises with yourself? Well, because when you were little and experienced a trauma, remember that time in life where your body felt unsafe, you internalized that pain and situation. In this moment, instead of honoring your truth and your feelings, you abandon yourself to meet somebody else's needs to uphold your vision of them. They are okay, you are bad. Which is why you're now a grown adult that continues to internalize your failures, put others' needs before your own, continue to self-sabotage when you finally start taking control of your life, habits, goals, and dreams. That first shift, that first belief system that did not set you up for success, which we can do something about, was the first moments you abandon your experience and change the way you see the world to keep yourself safe. So it's not your fault. You were actually doing what was in the best interest of yourself at the time to survive, to continue to live your life. And it is no longer serving you, so we can do something different because now you're an adult. You can provide for yourself. You don't need to rely on somebody else to survive. And that's not to say we don't need community, we don't need collaboration, because we are humans. We're social beings that need a community, but you don't rely on that to survive. It's just an awesome piece of the puzzle of being a human. So back to why you keep breaking promises to yourself. When you say you're going to do something or make a change, or you finally say no for once, you feel good, you feel empowered because you're finally stepping into what your deep soul knows is your truth, is your power, is the space you're allowed to take up. And then you don't do it. Why? Because not only do these internalized beliefs say otherwise, but your nervous system doesn't feel safe in that belief because it's not what it's known. So then you resort to what feels safe and familiar, which is internalizing, self-sabotaging, and resorting back. Your mind sends 20% of the signals to your body, whereas 80% of the signals come from your body to your brain. So we can do the mindset work, we can change our beliefs, and that only skims the surface. It shows us what's not aligned. and where we need to challenge the lens through which we see the world in. When we add the layer of regulating our bodies to feel safe by expanding our nervous system, we actually create new patterns. So, how the heck do we get out of this rut? How do we finally start acting like the person we want to be, making the changes we want to make? We need to build internal safety and trust. Retrain your brain with a new lens to spot the places where you internalize something that has nothing to do with you. Rebuild that internal integrity with when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And then I do it. And then I do it again. And take back your power. When you go through your day to day, saying yes when you mean no, continuing to fall into marketing that says you need to be small, wrinkleless, hairless, skinny, you need to be a boss babe that exhausts herself to make her dreams happen and doesn't need no man. You can't show emotion because that's weak. You can't control your diet too much or you have an eating disorder, but you can't completely let it go because then you're letting yourself go and you're a problem. If you follow your cravings, you'll get fat, but you have to listen to your intuition. Whatever the lies are that our world has fed us, that have now become part of your belief system unconsciously, when you listen and operate in those stories, you are continuing to abandon yourself and what you know is true, which remember is that first initial trauma when you abandon yourself to keep yourself safe. So now you're in this loop of reliving that trauma, reactivating your nervous system, re-engaging your body and brain in a way that was unsafe. And that's what's called the trauma loop. I'm working right now on graphics that I can put up and a masterclass in 3 weeks where we're diving way deeper into this. So make sure you are signed up for my email updates. It'll be in the show notes. We're going to talk about all the ways that we can heal this at the root of our traumas, so that our lifestyle and mindset work that you've done actually start to work for you, actually stick, don't feel like effort. And we put this into practice with my 4-phased approach, which hopefully you've heard about before because you've binged all the episodes before. Acknowledge, mend, integrate, and then embody. So the first step is to acknowledge where you are and where you want to go. One of the most impactful pieces I see all my clients go through is when we uncover what actually matters to them. So remember those lenses, the beliefs that we see the world in based upon our experience and how we internalized everything? Yeah. Let's start to acknowledge them and then create the picture of where we want to go. What truly matters to you? What are your genuine values? Not what you've been told, not what you've been told needs to matter, not what you've been conditioned to do to get external validation. What really matters to you? This is a deep process of uncovering and assessing through a lot of trial and error. So, although this is the first step, it's never truly finished. That's the awesome part about being human. It's an ongoing process, and that's where we have to start. Then we mend. We start learning about and acknowledging the ways in which you're selling yourself short, holding yourself back, creating an internal safety system and feedback loop that isn't actually working for you, isn't actually safe, and what you want that to look like. Your beliefs, your lifestyle habits, nutrition, movement, recreating a life where self-love and self-accountability and self-trust are the guiding factors. Let's just talk about the coaching industry and the fitness industry because that's something that I'm very familiar with and a lot of my audience is too. That is a lot of quick fixes. The diet, the workouts, like all of the symptoms you are experiencing, think of an iceberg. That root trauma is underneath the surface. Everything on top of that surface, like the gut health, the hormone imbalances, the weight gain, the toxic relationships. I don't love that phrase because it takes two to tango. The unhealthy patterns we're in. We can fix it all on the surface, but then you're going to keep trying to fix it all. We got to get to the root. And once you heal that, it's a domino effect. We don't have to just heal the eating disorder or just heal the addiction or just heal the abandonment issues. Yes, I'm speaking from personal experience. I got all those in my repertoire. We're handling the root. I just went on a little aside there. We were talking about mending, where we use self-love, self-accountability as the guiding factors, because now you start to reclaim that trust with yourself. Healing that root, that's where we come in full circle. Healing the root of that iceberg creates that domino effect where everything else kind of starts to fall into place. So start with that integrity because confidence is built through that self-integrity. What is one small thing you can commit to every single day that takes you closer to that vision of where you want to go? What is one small act of, I'm doing this because I just enjoy the way it feels? And then from there, you start to get these golden nuggets and pile them on top of each other. And then you get to grow your life based upon these genuine golden nuggets that make you light up, enjoy yourself, have fun, and live a life that you actually love. Sounds pretty simple? Yes. Because it is simple. Yet we've been fed so much bull crap that we have to go on so many adventures to get there. We need to create a basic foundation, consistent, real, aligned nutrition. So you're signaling safety through what your body needs to survive. You need to break the patterns that have told you if you're not receiving money, you're not doing good enough. If you're not exhausted, then you're not worthy. If this whole boss babe thing that I'm seeing all over Instagram where you have to hustle and do and you don't need anybody to, then you're finally safe and capable. That you have to look a certain way to get X, Y, and Z. That whatever it is, that is the consumerism American way to find freedom that doesn't work, that keeps you searching outside of you. Next week's episode is going to go way deep into this. It's going to be awesome. That list can go on and on. I just scroll on Instagram and I see ad after reel after reel after program of do this one thing and you'll be good, do this other thing and you'll be good. And yes, I mark it that way too because it's like the root cause. And if it doesn't come back to trauma, I'm now convinced it doesn't work long term. And you're going to continue to have to strive and search and push for it to happen. So starting today, just start to question the decisions you make. Just like we talked about holding integrity with yourself, create awareness of the decisions you're making. Am I eating this food because it nourishes me and gives me energy, or am I eating this to change my body and lose weight? Am I working out because it gives me energy and I love the way it feels, or am I doing it to punish myself or manipulate my body? Am I saying yes right now because I want to say yes and I'm excited? Or do I feel obligated to say yes and am scared to hurt the other person's feelings? While you start questioning things, you're going to start to uncover the value system you've been running on based on fear, scarcity, changing yourself to meet the standard, which gives way for what actually matters to you, which could be is it the connection with your family, hiking up the mountain, cooking and exploring new recipes, creating a business and sharing what you're passionate about? Is it reading with your kids before bed? Is it crushing it at work and supporting your team so you can close that door and go home and make dinner for your kiddos? Is it just sitting in the bathtub with a fantasy book, exploring a fantasy realm? What makes you happy without producing a result? And we're going to look in this, and it's going to be a lot of information. We don't have to do anything of it with it. Just acknowledge. Am I engaging in it because it's genuinely lighting me up? Or am I doing this because it's a value system that I was raising myself on that met a need but doesn't actually meet a need anymore? So you have to get radically honest with yourself. And then once you start questioning these things, like I said, the value system that you've been running on and the one that you want are starting to uncover. And from there, we can start to live in alignment with the one that we want. We start to embody the aligned version where we're no longer fixing ourselves, changing, pushing through, changing others. We're acknowledging what's going on. We're human. We're going to slip up and get snappy or resort to that belief system or make a mistake or experiencing something hard, get angry. Yet we know how to come back to baseline because we have that internal feeling of trust and safety. We can release the feelings, come back without beating ourselves up. When we acknowledge, mend, integrate, and then embody. To recap, a lot of information thrown at you. So just take a big breath. Your trauma caused you to internalize fear, anger, and other emotions. Without that healthy and safe outlet, you internalize those feelings. To keep you further safe, you internalize them as you were doing wrong, you didn't matter, or you were bad. So then you operated from that belief system to keep yourself safe as a kid because you needed to survive. And it became your baseline. So now your brain and your nervous system always recalibrate to those beliefs. And now you are unconsciously operating from that place. And yes, it can be a lot, but guess what? You created those beliefs, so you can create another belief. But when we're stuck at that baseline, when you try to level up or change, stop destructive patterns, do something different, start a new regimen, get healthy, you start to question everything. Everything feels uncomfortable because your baseline is way different than where you're trying to consciously put in effort. because your baseline is so different than where you're consciously trying to put an effort. Because those unconscious beliefs, that unconscious baseline of where your nervous system and your body rest is where you're going to resort to. Because remember, 80% of signals body up to brain. So start questioning everything and just uncover the values that are yours and that are not yours. And start committing every single day to one small thing that lights you up and supports your values, even though it doesn't make sense. Because once you find safety in those things that make you feel joy, happy, peace, calm, security, and they don't make sense to you in that past belief system, that's when you're creating new. That's when you're creating safety in your body in a different belief system. And then hold yourself accountable to it. Remind yourself that this feels new, this feels scary because it's not my baseline. So use your deep breaths, use your moments of stillness to bring yourself back. Because once you have that integrity with yourself, you heal that root of abandoning yourself. Your genuine, authentic values are the driving force because of the confidence and integrity you hold. Oh, it's a journey. Welcome. You're never alone. Like I said, in 3 weeks, I'm hosting a masterclass where we're going to dive even deeper into this journey, talking about trauma, the trauma loops, how to get rid of it. Not get rid of it, but we're never done. That's the awesome part of it. But start to heal those root causes and embody them into our lives so that we can do different and have that new baseline of new beliefs. Make sure again that you're signed up for my email list, link in the show notes, so we can start creating real and lasting change. I encourage you to listen to this podcast episode maybe 2 or 3 times because I packed a lot of information in there and I didn't want to go on too many tangents because we know I can do that. So whatever resonates now, roll with it. And if this is triggering something in you, if it's activating something in you, good. Listen to that. I don't know if you've heard the saying before, we can only see it if we've got it. This is making you mad. If I said something in here that just irked you, sit with that because that is what's asking to be looked at. Real lasting change happens when we attack it at the root. No more quick fixes, team. It's way more than fitness and nutrition now. That was the rebrand of Mind Body Mastery. So if you've been around, so let's start creating real lasting change so that you're free of all the things. I believe in you. Go get him, Tiger.